Today I'm on the Isle of Sheppey. Now I'm going to be honest with you, if you like blue skies and green hills, this is not the video for you. But if, as I do, you like things like this depressing, dilapidated thing behind me, then today is going to be exciting. So why not come with me on my next landscape adventure? Now the nights are drawing in and the weather isn't brilliant at the moment, so I'm going to head out a little bit early. Today I'm going to go somewhere a little bit different. It's going to take me a couple of hours to get there, but I'm going to head to the Isle of Sheppey. And the reason for this is that the weather isn't fantastic. If it gets better, there are some great locations around the Isle of Sheppey which will enable me to get some fantastic landscapes. But if they don't, there's an area that I drove through a few years ago that I really regret not getting some fantastic, gritty, urban landscapes. So that's my plan for today. Hopefully it'll work out in one way or the other. First things first though, I need to go and get showered and changed, and then we'll start driving. I'm here, look at this. That literally just walked by as I turned the camera on. This place is fascinating. Finally found somewhere I can pull over and park. I've driven around the island. It's very urban. It's very urban. There's a lot of people and there's not much space, bizarrely. There's these huge green, well, both green and urban spaces that are kind of dilapidated, but there's nowhere really to pull over and stop and find any peace. So consequently you have these vast swathes of what could be fantastic bits of landscaped land mixed with the electricity pylons and the, what they're called, wind turbines. But I found somewhere I'm going to do a little bit of photography. I think this is going to be really interesting. It's going to be nothing like anything I've featured in my other videos. I'm going to move on a little bit later as well to a different area. But I think I found a great little place to start, and let's see how this goes. This really could be fascinating. Also, I don't entirely feel safe. It's a very cloudy and overcast day, and as I suspected, I thought this location would work really well with this weather. You can see here, we've got a couple of old boats here that are kind of almost moored because of the lack of water. I'm sure there's a technical term for that, but I've no idea what it is. But I really think this location is going to work really well for this style of shoot. If you look over here, there's a big industrial site across the water. So everything that I shoot here is going to have some kind of industrial element to it. And personally, I find that fascinating. I think we're going to get a lot of textures, a lot of interesting shapes, and probably a lot of interesting subjects as well, just looking around. Part of the reason I feel quite unsafe around here has been that historically people have always told me that this isn't the nicest area. I've relaxed a little bit now, mainly because I've seen a couple of people, and it sounds like a silly little thing, but there was a guy walking a dog and he was sort of having a bit of a laugh as he slipped down the slope, and I sort of laughed with him, and his dog came over towards me and the dog then followed him. And there were also a couple of girls walking down here who were laughing and joking. It sounds like a really, really small thing, but it's actually quite significant in helping me relax a little bit. In terms of shots, not got anything brilliant yet. I've got a few nice shots of boats, which, okay, they're alright, but they're not really what I was looking for. I've taken one where I'm trying to use I still can't think of what they're called. The wind turbines, that's the word. I've taken one where I've got the wind turbines almost forming a diagonal as it runs towards the boat, but I can't quite get the perspective right. I think I'm going to switch to my 70 to 200mm lens and see if that does any better. Maybe compressing the perspective a little bit will help me really bring out the industrial side of things on the landscape, because at the moment it's kind of just faded into the distance. There are two schools of thought when it comes to changing lenses in the field. One is don't do it, you risk getting crap in your lens. And the other is don't be lazy. Previously, I've always erred on the side of caution and not changing my lens in the field. But today I decided that I was going to not be lazy. I just dropped my lens on this floor. Thankfully, the lens cap was on and I think it survived. In other news, I used the fisheye lens to take a couple of pictures of this little boat here, but I'm not sure how great they're going to be. And at the moment, I've got the telephoto lens on. I'm trying to zoom in on what's happening on the horizon, again compressing those images and kind of bringing out that industrial side of things alongside the boats. It's kind of tricky because I can't quite get where I want to be. I think really I need to be that way somewhere, but this bit of the beach, if that's what it is, beach, I don't know, is quite unstable and I don't know how far I really want to go. Also, I'm slightly nervous about leaving my car where it is just because it's well off the beaten track. Had another friendly chat with another guy. There's a guy in a boat down there who said hello to me and was asking about my photography, so that's always nice as well. So I'm a little bit more relaxed because everyone here so far has been very nice. So hands up who didn't see this coming. I've ended up getting carried away and making progress down the path. So I've managed to find the actual beaten path. I did go down the beach. We'll call it the beach for now because I'm not sure what else to call it. I did go down the beach as far as I could and then the dry part of it just kind of disappeared. And we're now at this nice boggy marsh section, which I really like. And I've also got these, I don't know, I guess rusty shipwrecks. There we are in the background, which I'm now going to do my best to get some nice photos of. But just listen to that. Somehow I've come out into quite an industrial area. Listen to those seagulls. And it's really peaceful. I'm really enjoying myself at the moment. Right, it's 7:10. I keep seeing more opportunity if I keep going that way. Sunset's due about 8:30. Do I take the risk of heading that way and seeing if I can get better shots and certainly more interesting shots of these shipwrecks? Or do I do the safe thing and go home? Who am I kidding? This wouldn't be one of my videos if there wasn't some kind of self-inflicted anxiety with the let's go that way. Deep breath. Guess who just dropped the camera again? I put it back on the tripod, apparently didn't secure it properly. Luckily, managed to catch it with one hand by the lens hood. Lens hood slipped off, thankfully didn't snap, and I managed to catch it by the lens before it hit the floor. And now the moment of truth. Is it okay? We're about to find out. Good news is the lens seems to be working okay. I guess we'll only really know when I get back, but there doesn't seem to be any damage to the lens and there doesn't seem to be any deterioration in image quality. I've been taking a picture of this. I love things like this, completely pointless and irrelevant signs. So no entry sign with nothing else around it. And by the way, there is nothing around here to say that I shouldn't be here. So there's a part of me that's going, am I trespassing? But I'm like, no, I've walked on public land all the way here and there's been nothing to say I shouldn't be here. I am very, very cautious about things like that because otherwise it's another anxiety. There is so much here that I want to cover, but it is starting to get a little bit dark. I was going to ruminate about why it always happens that I always find these good spots just as it's getting dark or just I'm running out of time. It's almost like I don't plan or something, isn't it? It's crazy. I've had to make a choice now. I think I'm going to have to start making my way back. I'm just going to have one quick walk down here because I've seen a shot that I like. And then I'm going to start walking back, and I've had to make a decision over which lens because I think it's going to be a case of point and shoot now on the way back. I've decided to go with the 70-200 because there's quite a lot of detail that I want to catch. Still got my tripod out, so should be able to get some noise-free images. And because this shot, if I can get it, is looking amazing. Wow. I really am now in the middle of nowhere, starting to get quite anxious, but also equally determined to get this damn shot. Just realised I'm surrounded by water. Oh, this is going to be amazing if I can get it right. And I think I'm close enough now. Yeah, let's go from here. Okay, see you in a bit. Right, so I'm really pleased with that shot. Definitely now time to head back. Got plenty of time. I don't think the sun's going to set properly for a while yet. It's 7:45. Technically got another hour for golden hour or so. There are a bunch of lads down here on quad bikes though, which always makes me nervous. But I'm really pleased with that last picture I took. Let's start making our way back and see what happens. So I've started heading back now. Now ultimately there's 3 routes back. There's on the beach, there's the one I'm on at the minute, and then there's the high road up here. I say high road, it's 4 feet higher, and it's tricky to know which one to use and when, because occasionally they just sort of run out. The lads have taken their quad bikes down to the far end, so again, feeling a bit safer now. I think there's going to be some interesting shots from today. There's certainly not going to be your typical landscapes, and they're not going to be massively colourful, but I quite like that. It's an opportunity for me to play around with some simpler colour palettes. So I'm just around the corner from where I parked my car, and this is the place where the friendly man spoke to me. So actually, the tide's come in now, so I think what I'm going to do is try and get some of the shots I took earlier, but this time with the water in them, and maybe a few others. So I'm going to hang around for a little bit longer because I feel perfectly safe in this part. Well, so far so good. I've really enjoyed being out here. It's been a nice peaceful time, and now the tide's come in, it's kind of really brings back the nature part of it, which is obviously the part I enjoy. I'm not convinced I've got a million brilliant shots, but I've enjoyed myself tonight, and that's all that matters. But I haven't yet finished. I've got one more shot in mind. Now it's going to involve a road and a bridge, and I need to find somewhere safe to A, park up, and B, access to get the shot that I want. Now I tried this last time I was here 2 years ago and I wasn't successful, but I've learnt a lot since then, so hopefully I'll be able to make a better go of it. I've made it to my location. I don't think I'm going to be able to get quite the shot I wanted, which was the bridge with light trails, but I might be able to get something interesting. I am quite literally in the middle of nowhere now. I've come down a country road that leads to nowhere. It's just a building site behind me that is closed off. Right, so I think we're done here. I didn't get any of the bridge in the end. I might have a look at the end of the road and see if there is another opportunity, but to be honest, I don't think there's a decent angle on it without wading out right into the fields, and obviously I'm not going to do that at this time of night or in the dark. But I've got some really nice shots of the electricity pylons, believe it or not, with the lights behind them. There's all sorts of man-made light coming from behind them, which gives them a really interesting glow, and there are some on both sides of the road, so I've done both of those and I'm really pleased with them actually. I think they're very atmospheric, and they certainly create a sense of what it feels like to be here in the middle of nowhere. I didn't get one shot that I specifically came for. The shot I had in mind when I decided to do this video was a shot of an old dilapidated industrial estate, and the reason I didn't get it last time I was here was A, I was pushed for time, but B, I was scared shitless again out of the car because it properly looked like the site of a gangster murder movie, specifically the point where they come out and shoot someone in the middle of nowhere. And I got that thought in my mind last time, and I couldn't bring myself then to get out of the car and take the shots I wanted to. I G'd myself up to do that today, but unfortunately when I got there, it's no longer dilapidated. They've clearly done some kind of regeneration there, and the units are back in use. So unfortunately the shot that I specifically came for I wasn't able to get, but it's been a really nice day, and I find this contrast of man-made stuff within nature to be really interesting, and I've really enjoyed shooting all of these various things today, and I think it's going to give me a different set of photos. So I hope you've enjoyed coming with me, and yeah, thanks for joining me again, and hopefully see you next week. Don't forget, like, comment and subscribe. See you later. Oh yeah, and always wear a high vis if you're going to take photos in the middle of a dark road in the middle of nowhere.